Contract law in ancient India. Contract law in ancient India was sophisticated and formed an integral part of the socio-economic framework, deeply influenced by the region's diverse cultures, religions, and legal texts. Ancient Indian legal principles were documented in various sources, including religious scriptures, legal treatises, dharmashastra, and secular writings, reflecting a blend of moral, ethical, and legal norms. The Manusmriti and the Arthashastra are two of the most significant texts that provide insight into the legal practices of ancient India, including those related to contracts. Manusmriti. Manusmriti, or Laws of Manu, is a foundational text of Hindu law, detailing the duties, rights, and moral obligations of individuals in various aspects of life, including commerce and contracts. It outlines the principles for fair and ethical trade practices, property rights, and the enforcement of contracts. The text emphasizes the importance of honesty and integrity in business transactions and prescribes penalties for fraudulent practices and breach of contract. Arthashastra. Arthashastra, attributed to Chanakya, also known as Kautilya, is an ancient Indian treatise on statecraft, economic policy, and military strategy. It includes detailed provisions on commerce, market regulation, and contract enforcement, reflecting a pragmatic approach to economic affairs. Arthashastra discusses various types of contracts, including those related to sale, lease, partnership, and employment, and provides for the resolution of disputes and the protection of traders and consumers from fraud and exploitation. Key principles of contract law in ancient India. Freedom to contract. Individuals were free to enter into contracts within the bounds of dharma, moral and ethical duties. Contracts that were illegal or considered immoral were not enforceable. Written and oral agreements. Both written and oral agreements were recognized, but written contracts, often inscribed on palm leaves or birch bark and witnessed by third parties, were considered more reliable. Specific performance and remedies. The ancient Indian legal system provided for the specific performance of contractual obligations and offered remedies in cases of breach, including compensation for losses. Good faith and fair dealing. Similar to other ancient legal systems, good faith and ethical conduct were foundational to contract law in ancient India. Parties were expected to act with honesty and not to engage in deceptive practices. Role of the king and state. The king and state officials played a significant role in regulating commerce, ensuring market fairness, and adjudicating disputes. Arthashastra, in particular, emphasizes the king's duty to protect commerce and enforce contracts to ensure economic stability and prosperity. Influence on modern Indian law. The principles of contract law in ancient India, with their emphasis on fairness, ethical conduct, and community welfare, have influenced the development of modern Indian law. While contemporary Indian contract law, codified in the Indian Contract Act of 1872, is based on British common law principles, the underlying ethos reflects ancient Indian values of justice, good faith, and social responsibility. Contract law in ancient India was an advanced and integral part of the legal and social fabric, balancing ethical norms with practical considerations of commerce and trade. Through texts like Manusmriti and Arthashastra, ancient India contributed significantly to the development of legal principles that continue to influence Indian law and offer insights into the ancient world's sophisticated understanding of contracts and economic transactions.